Why humans started wearing clothes. Take a look around you. Unless you're watching this video from a very unusual place, you're probably wearing clothes right now. A shirt? Pants. A dress? Maybe even socks. But have you ever stopped and wondered, why? Why do humans wear clothes when almost every other animal on Earth walks around completely naked? Dogs don't wear jeans. Lions don't wear jackets. Chimpanzees don't own closets. So what happened to us? Why did humans become the only species that spends enormous amounts of time, money, and energy covering their bodies? Well, the answer takes us on a fascinating journey through ice ages, evolution, survival, fashion, and even tiny insects that live in our clothes. Let's find out. The mystery. At first, wearing clothes seems perfectly normal. After all, everyone does it. But if you really think about it, it's actually pretty strange. Humans are born without clothing. Our ancestors lived in nature for millions of years. And most animals survive just fine without shirts, shoes, or winter coats. So why couldn't humans do the same? Was it because we got cold? Was it because we became embarrassed? Did someone invent fashion and everyone just copied them? Or is there a deeper reason hidden in our evolutionary past? To answer that question, we need to travel back in time. Way back, long before shopping malls, long before sewing machines, long before anyone had ever heard of a t-shirt. Journey through history. Imagine Earth around 2 million years ago. Early humans were roaming the African savannas. The climate was hot. The sun was intense, and unlike many animals, humans were beginning to lose much of their body hair. That might sound like a terrible idea. After all, fur keeps animals warm, but losing hair gave humans a surprising advantage. We became excellent runners. Most animals cool themselves by panting. Humans cool themselves by sweating. Lots of sweating. Without thick fur trapping heat, sweat could evaporate more efficiently. This helped our ancestors stay active during the hottest parts of the day. While other animals rested in the shade, humans could keep moving. For thousands of years, this worked perfectly. No clothes required. But then something changed. Humans began leaving Africa. As they spread into Europe, Asia, and colder parts of the world, they encountered a problem. Winter? Lots of winter. Imagine stepping into a freezing landscape with almost no fur. Suddenly, the same hair loss that helped you survive in Africa became a major disadvantage. People needed a solution, and that's when clothing entered the story. Early humans likely started by draping animal skins over their bodies. Nothing fancy. No buttons. No zippers, no fashion magazines, just survival. If you were cold, you covered yourself. Simple. Over time, people learned how to prepare animal hides. They developed tools made from bone and stone. Eventually, they began sewing pieces together. What started as protection from the weather slowly became something much bigger. Scientific explanation. Here's where things get really interesting. Scientists actually have a clever way of estimating when humans started wearing clothes. And it involves lice. Yes, lighter. Those tiny insects nobody wants. There are different types of human lice. Some live in hair, others live in clothing. Researchers discovered that clothing lice evolved from hair lice. By studying their DNA, scientists estimated that clothing lice appeared roughly 170,000 years ago. That suggests humans were regularly wearing clothes by then. Pretty amazing. Tiny parasites accidentally became historians. But clothing wasn't just about staying warm. It also protected people from sunlight, sharp plants, insect bites, wind, rain, snow. In many environments, clothing increased the chances of survival. And surviving long enough to have children is basically evolution's favorite thing. The more useful clothing became, the more it spread. Eventually, wearing clothes wasn't optional. It became part of human life. Another fascinating factor is our unusually sensitive skin. Compared to many animals, human skin is relatively exposed. Without fur, clothing acts like an artificial layer of protection. In a way, clothes became our second skin. Nature removed our fur, so humans invented a replacement. From survival to culture. At first, clothing solved practical problems. But humans rarely stop at practical. Give us something useful and eventually we'll turn it into a social system. Clothing gradually became a way to communicate. Certain clothes showed status. Others showed occupation. Some revealed cultural identity. Some indicated wealth. Some signaled religious beliefs. And some simply looked cool. Think about it. You can learn a surprising amount about a person just by looking at what they're wearing. A firefighter. A doctor. A soldier. A chef, a business executive. Their clothes tell a story before they even speak. Over thousands of years, clothing transformed from survival equipment into a powerful form of communication. In many ways, getting dressed each morning is like creating a personal billboard. Without saying a word, you're sending messages to the world. Surprising facts. Now for some surprising facts most people don't know. First, humans aren't the only animals that use coverings. Certain hermit crabs carry shells. Some birds decorate themselves with colorful objects. And orangutans have been observed using leaves like temporary umbrellas. But none of them create complex wardrobes like humans. Second, some of the earliest sewing needles are over 40,000 years old. That means people were making fitted clothing long before recorded history. Third, high heels were originally worn by men. Thousands of years later, fashion completely changed their purpose. Humans are weird. Fourth, archaeologists believe some ancient clothing may have disappeared forever because materials like leather, grass, and fabric decay over time. Many of the first outfits ever made have simply vanished. And finally, clothing is so important to human society that nearly every culture developed its own unique styles independently. Even groups separated by oceans eventually created clothing traditions, different designs, different materials, same basic idea. Protect the body, express identity, belong to a group. Why do we feel embarrassed without clothes? Here's a question many people ask. If clothing started because of weather and survival, why do many people feel embarrassed without it today? The answer isn't biological, it's cultural. Babies aren't born feeling embarrassed about clothing. Those feelings develop as children learn social rules from the people around them. Different societies have different standards regarding what should be covered and when. What seems normal in one culture might seem unusual in another. This shows that clothing isn't just about the body. It's also about social expectations. Over time, clothes became deeply connected to ideas of privacy, identity, and community. Conclusion. So why did humans start wearing clothes? The simplest answer is survival. Our ancestors lost much of their body hair. Then they spread into colder environments where protection became necessary. Animal skins and simple coverings helped them stay warm and safe. But the story didn't end there. Clothing evolved into something far more powerful. A survival tool became a cultural symbol. A protective layer became a way to communicate identity, status, and belonging. Today, when you put on a shirt or a pair of shoes, you're participating in a tradition that stretches back hundreds of thousands of years. A tradition born from ice ages, evolution, and human creativity. And perhaps that's the most fascinating part. Humans didn't grow a better coat. We invented one. Final engagement. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.